Hey guys, today we're going to talk about productivity. All right, so full disclaimer, I am one of those people who just always feels like I need to be productive. I know there are others out there like me that just, no matter what I'm doing, I just feel like it needs to be a productive thing. And so I have a very hard time with like watching TV and things like that because inherently it feels very unproductive. And so I find myself, like stretching while watching TV and things like that to try to make myself feel like, I'm doing something productive while inherently doing something unproductive. So I know that not everyone is like that. And, there are a lot of you guys struggle with actually being productive in general and getting motivation to do that. So as I go through this, I'll keep in mind I will kind of touch on that in terms of if you are inherently one of those more productive people like me, or if you struggle with kind of getting that motivation throughout the day. So I'm going to go through 4 concepts today, and just to kick things off, the very first one that I want to talk about is prioritize needle movers over chores. So when I talk about chores, I mean like actual chores and also just tasks that are the ones that you kind of just have to get done, but that just are not really important. So, I tend to, one kind of tendency I fall into sometimes is checking emails constantly throughout the day. Like I'm in the middle of something, a notification pops up, go and check my email. And inherently, checking email and responding to email is a more busy work type of category. There are times when you get emails and it's something very important and you need to respond to it. But I'd say 90% of the time, it's just that someone needs something from you that isn't necessarily urgent. And usually you can tell that, when the notification pops up based on who it's from and what the subject is, if you have to open that right away or if you can just ignore it for later. And some other chores, like I actually mean real life chores, like cleaning the house and things like that, which, and it's sometimes easy to do those things and prioritize them over some of the more like harder needle moving activities that actually need to get done. But because it's going to take a little bit more time and effort, it's easy to just say, oh, well, I cleaned the kitchen yesterday, but I didn't really give it a deep clean in a while. So let me go do that. And then I'll do this other thing later that, is a little bit more challenging than I want to do yet. Okay, so it's very important to recognize when you're doing that. That's a very big first step, is just learning to recognize, okay, am I doing this thing because I'm putting off something else that's actually important that I should be doing? I do this a lot with work. There'll be something kind of more time consuming that I know I'm going to have to dedicate a couple hours to do. And so I'll just kind of like check emails, maybe do some of these other smaller tasks that are easy to get out of the way. And I feel like I'm being productive because I'm checking things off my list, but it's not things that actually matter in the here and now and things that are actually needle movers for me. So first off, just recognizing, okay, I'm going to do this thing. Is it busy work or is it a needle mover? If it is busy work, what's the needle mover maybe that I'm ignoring? And if there's no needle mover right then that you need to focus on, then yeah, there are times when you need to get those busy work chore items out of the way because eventually they have to get done. But typically we tend to want to do those and procrastinate on the needle movers. So once you learn to do that, next big step is get the most annoying thing done first in your day. This has been a huge game changer for me. I have found that, I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, man, even things like I know I need to call the doctor today and reschedule that appointment. And I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. Like, this is annoying. Like, I don't want to call them up again. I have to go through my schedule. So I'll just do that later. I'll just do it later. And then before I know it, it's 5 o'clock. They're closed. Now I have to do it tomorrow. How much of my mental energy has that one little task taken up that just literally takes 5 minutes? But we've all done it. It's so easy to just put off those annoying things because you're like, oh, it doesn't take that long. I'll just do it tomorrow. But by putting it off, your mind constantly is thinking about it and it's taking your attention away from those more important things. So what I really try to do now is at night, I think about, okay, what's the most important annoying thing that I can just get out of the way tomorrow to feel good that I got something done and got the most annoying thing out of the way so that everything else feels a lot easier to handle and you kind of have momentum from that number one thing. So when you figure that thing out, like maybe you don't have an annoying thing that you need to do that next day, but if you do, make sure that, this is the next point, you schedule it out in your calendar. So this scheduling out, I'm saying here to schedule out at least 60% of your day in your calendar. If you already do that, then obviously you can bump up that percentage and maybe go to 80% or higher. But if you're someone who doesn't tend to schedule out your calendar very often, then I'm saying start with 60% because it's a little bit more attainable. And you'll find that when you go to work, obviously that takes up probably 60% of your day going to work. So if you just start with scheduling out your work day, so I'm not just saying from 9 to 5, I'm going to be in the office. So I'm scheduling this big 8-hour block of I'm just going to work. Well, yeah, obviously you're going to be doing work in that time, but not that entire time, right? Like you're going to get in maybe at 9 and then open up your computer, maybe check emails first, then maybe you have to get some coffee. There are things that you're going to be doing that aren't work related. And it's very important to keep that in mind as you schedule out time, because one mistake I've made is I'll have, maybe a couple meetings in a row and then I'll have a half-hour break. And I'm thinking, okay, in that half-hour break, I'm going to, I'll just catch up on work I didn't get to. But what happens when that break comes? You go to the bathroom, you get some water, maybe you chat with a colleague you see in the break room, and then that half hour gets eaten up. Now you're on your next meeting. And so while I think it's important to not only schedule out, the actual tasks you're going to do. So say you schedule in 30 minutes in the morning, okay, I'm going to get in at 9, but I'm scheduling out, 20 to 30 minutes for me to just open up my computer, maybe chat with someone, kind of get myself settled. And then, okay, 9:30 hits, I'm checking email for 30 minutes. And that's all I'm doing in that time block. 10 o'clock hits, maybe I have a meeting. Or maybe I say, I'm going to get that number one annoying thing done from 10 to 11. And, keeping in mind as you schedule out those blocks, leave yourself little breaks in between. And don't just say, okay, from 10 to 11, I'm doing this, then 11, 12, I'm doing this, and then I'm going to eat lunch, and then I'm doing my whole afternoon's blocked out, because we all know that's not the most efficient way to get things done. Okay, so it's very important to start blocking things out in your calendar so that you keep yourself accountable, and you say, hey, at 10 o'clock I said I was going to do this. Maybe 10 o'clock comes and something else important comes up that you have to attend to, or your meeting ran over, or anything could happen, and sometimes you don't get to that thing you scheduled. Take that chunk and just move it later. If it's your number one annoying thing to get done, then just move it to that next open slot you have. If it's something that maybe can wait till tomorrow, move it till tomorrow. It doesn't have to be it's on my calendar, I have to absolutely do it and I feel like crap if I didn't do it. It's just making sure that you don't forget to do those things, and that you're holding yourself accountable and saying, I'm not just going to waste this entire hour, checking emails and kind of going on my benefits page and going to find someone to talk to because I don't know what I should be doing. If you have that time scheduled, you at least have the option to say, okay, I allotted this time to do this, I'm going to do it now. And while I think it's very important to schedule not only tasks that need to get done and productive work that needs to get done, my last point here is I think it's crucial to schedule in time for fun or relaxation. This was something that I didn't really do at first. I was just okay, I'm gonna block out all my productive time, and then I'll just leave the rest of the day open and not really, just use that time for whatever comes up. But what I found is, my personality type, because I always feel like I have to be productive, if I don't have time scheduled in my calendar, I inherently feel like I'm being unproductive. But if I say, okay, this 2-hour time block in the evening is my time to, have fun or relax or, do this thing with this person or just veg out on the couch, then I feel like I'm being productive because it's in my calendar and I'm doing a task that I said I was going to do. So if you're not like that, you're not one of those people that always feels like they need to be productive, and you kind of have the opposite problem where you get distracted or relax too much, this is also helpful because now you're saying, oh, maybe I feel like I want to do something relaxing or whatever, but I have it blocked out later, so I should actually use this time to do a more important thing. And then I know later I have that to look forward to. And I'm still giving myself that, thing that I need and that reward. But now, because you have it blocked in, it's not something that just kind of creeps in and sucks up more of your day than it should. All right, so I hope that was helpful. Shorter video today, but I just really wanted to talk about these main 4 things because I found for me, they've made the biggest difference in, making my productive time, not just checking off tasks that don't necessarily, matter in the long term or needle movers for me, but actually getting those important things done and getting them done quickly, and then looking forward to, being able to relax or have fun towards the end of my day instead of feeling like crap because, I kept putting off all those important things and now I have to do them tomorrow, and, maybe tomorrow I'll put them off, and then the cycle continues. So these 4 things, definitely try to start implementing them, and hopefully they'll help you out. All right, so thanks for watching. I'm Veronica. Hope to see you next time.